This is Keenan from Keen Speaks, and today we're gonna react to um, we're gonna react to the Quartering's kind of apology video because to give you a little bit of context, in the past couple days there's been a bit of an uproaring, especially regarding. Most specifically regarding a review of Dylan Mulvaney that Matt Walsh gave. And, as much as I'm totally okay with the average person, changing their sexual orientation or identity or anything like that. To be honest, it's none of my business. It's none of my concern. But what I do have an issue with, and this is definitely a more of a systemic issue. What I do have an issue with is people like Dylan Mulvaney, advertising and enforcing some sort of weird trans ideology when it comes to children, and that's exactly what he's been doing, trying to convert young, influenceable individuals. And I think that on its own is a huge, huge problem. And a lot of people have been jumping up to really kind of defend Dylan Mulvaney and other, I hate partisanship, left, right bullshit, but the one side is really focused on the fact that you're discriminating. No. If he was doing that to just himself and not trying to influence young kids and not trying to convert young kids, then it would be a totally different story, but he's not. Anyways, let's get into it, because it is kind of interesting to see the Quartering kind of back down from his kind of aggressive dismissal and disagreement with Matt Walsh at Matt Walsh blog, and it started to get a little bit heated on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. So, anyways, let's hear what Jeremy from the Quartering has to say.
Guests of their show, or maybe, but I don't think it's good right now. I think it's good for views. People love watching it. The channel's been booming. It's better than ever. It's been amazing. Your support has been amazing. But I think we've reached that tipping point where I need to just chill out a little bit. And I think the reason I'm really feeling this way is because um, there's something weird. There's some weird energy out there. Do you feel it? Do you feel it a little bit where some people, again, I'm not a conservative commentator, but I am not a non-left commentator. So in the non-left commentator space, there's some weird vibe going on. We had
You might have seen videos like this before, but here's the big secret. Anyone can make one of these videos in a few minutes.
I'm nervous because I've never really been a channel that's relied on other content creators or collaborations. So I've never really cared if someone likes me or not. The only people I care about enjoying my content is my viewers. But I am nervous as I see what happened to James and PV. Essentially, biggest story of the company's history. Boom, he's pushed out with spurious complaints about he spent too much, he the worst thing they said about him is that he could have spent a little bit of like 15 grand of company money on a personal trip. Whatever, okay? I don't actually care about that. Then you had obviously the Tim Pool versus everybody kind of thing. And then this whole like Matt Walsh thing kind of kicked off, and it felt so normal at the time to just be like, oh, ha ha ha, let's get into this. And then I started like really looking back, and it's like, man, it's been Tim, then it was Matt, then it was PV, Crowder and Daily Wire, when this is really a time that we should be galvanizing, that we should be working together because
I'm really glad he said that because it's super critical for us to all stand together right now. And the entire world is divided, like in an insane way, and over many topics, and all of them are important, and all of them each have their own sides, their own independent sides on both sides of the spectrum. And we totally understand that. We have to be appreciative of that. But the biggest thing is that we have to stand together, because if you can't see the ludicrous nature of some of the current standings of today, then you're either naive or you're ignoring things intentionally as a cope, in my opinion.
even when we're super galvanized, we still take a ton of L's. Um, and so, in a time where, we have a really important election coming up, we have really important cultural issues to discuss, defeat. Um, we literally can't afford any infighting. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having, I'm not saying like don't criticize other content creators or don't criticize people that you watch. You all have no problem criticizing me, and that's what I appreciate. But also, it might be, um, it might just be time to take a little break from that. Let some things go. Oh, I didn't like this the way you did this video. Maybe just not worry about it. I think that you should hold your peers to the same standard that you hold your foes to. I have never seen or had a single
100% agree. There's a saying, you keep your enemies closer than you do your friends. Bastardizing the words, but you get the point. And that's because, as much as they are your enemies, they at one point will be aligned with you because of some other common enemy. And it's an important point to remember, because it's not like we're all right all the time. And that means a lot.
problem there, with criticizing people that are viewed as, on my side. I don't have a problem with that. And I'm not going to stop doing it, but I think maybe we need to let the boil come back down to a simmer. And there is no bigger uh, poo stirrer in the space than me. So I I'm there's just no denying that. It's fun, um, but like it's time to find some different targets. I think the work that my fellow content creators are doing, whether they're at Daily Wire, whether they're independent like Crowder, whether they're independent like myself or other content creators like most of us, um, I think there is value in holding them accountable, but also like sometimes there is a cause bigger than that. And right now, I think it's actually trying to win. Um, I've become, I think a lot of people, a big criticism people have outside of the drama farming is that I'm too soft. And too soft. And maybe they're right. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. Um, the war is upon us, and we need to galvanize. I'm thinking like I might just scrub my Twitter today completely and just get back to be really pointed at pointing out the left's insanity and really just focusing on that. I think and also if I can't stay out of trouble on Twitter, I'll just not use it because I think that I have 50 or 100,000 active viewers. We can really do a lot of good, but it doesn't happen when I'm constantly making you have to choose between who you watch.
I love that he said that. Like, I absolutely love that he said that. Because it means so much that the various sides of one creator or one representative's followers isn't constantly in a state of turmoil, so that they're like, oh, I like you, oh shoot, you know what, I don't agree with that. And like, I know, I understand, I'm very new, but I understand that there, I will never have my full audience's, how small it is right now, attention or anything like that. And even on Twitter, I've started to build a very small following. But even there, I know that each one of those people is never always going to agree with me. And I think that's very important to not only recognize but address, because we have so many more important things to do than bicker amongst ourselves. There's so many more dangerous and detrimental things to affecting our society. And I think that means so much more.
Like, you shouldn't feel bad watching Tim Pool or Matt Walsh or anyone else that I've even beefed with, because that's just irresponsible of me to put you in that position. So I apologize for that. It's fun for a while, but then I've kind of been slowly realizing that the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. I'm still going to criticize people when I believe that they need it. I just think my threshold's going to have to be higher, and not everything is worth starting a war over, at least amongst the people that, are working towards the same general goal. I think, um, I think that, this time away, I've had a lot of people think, like, on Twitter, that I'm totally relaxed. I've never been more relaxed in my life. I've never had more clarity than right now. And I've still got plenty of time to get even more clear. But I think that it's wild out there. It's a spooky time out there, in the non-establishment world, and I'm starting to believe maybe there are some weird forces going on behind the scenes that are sowing discontent, that are in the Twitter replies, whipping up people, egging them on to be more divisive.
I'm just going to stop right there. 100% there is. Not only is there, like spam accounts and bot accounts, but there is also some seriously active parody accounts. And they're literally there just trying to stir the fucking pot. And if you don't see it for what it truly is and like dig into their profile or anything like that, you can be misled down an absolute chasm of conflicting arguments and opinions.
I'm going to be me. I'm still, I'm not going to be some super rigid guy. I'm still going to make mistakes. But what I can pretty much be confident that I can commit to is chilling out a little bit on worrying about every little thing that maybe somebody on quote unquote our side does that I disagree with. I think it's okay to point that kind of stuff out. Maybe even in private will be better. But the end result of it is a divided audience, which I don't want, and losing. Quite frankly, that's the end game of the infighting, is that we lose. And I can't lose sight of that. That's why I started this YouTube channel. It all started when I got canceled and excommunicated from the Magic the Gathering community.
See, there you go. It means so much more for us to stick together than it does for us bickering over our own personal ideologies or weird little caveats or of group ideologies. And like, if you don't agree with everything, fine, just go, yeah, I don't. But to totally dismiss and attack another creator or an influencer of any kind, it's totally counterproductive, because you know what, we are on the same side. And when it all really comes down to it, although most people totally ignore this, especially when it comes to celebrities, influencers, and politicians, and other higher society people. Um, it's even more important that the smaller groups and facets of us that are aligned, even if it's only 20% or 30 or 40%, that we stick together and we really push towards the same collective goal.
And I can't lose sight of how that felt. And the people out there who have high expectations of me to stay on task and to push things forward. And I've never been more motivated. I mean, I have a huge project rolling out that I haven't talked about, but I've been working on behind the scenes with like real reporters and other stuff like that I'm excited about. And we are going to need everybody to stand a chance in this fight. And so I'm going to do better at not dividing people. So I appreciate you sticking it out with me. I appreciate you um, tuning in, and I hope that we'll continue to fight together for a very long time. And look, I didn't even mention coffee in this video. I definitely didn't say anything about going to coffeebrandcoffee.com and buying anything, but I kid. So I really appreciate you. Thanks for putting up with all my drama lominous, and I look forward to fighting side by side for a very long time together.
You know what? I gotta say, after the last couple days, I've been really hesitant in a lot of respects to even reply to a lot of his tweets. I usually am aligned with almost everything that the quartering says, along with Matt Walsh. But when he attacked Matt Walsh and got all upset about the fact that he was attacking a predator, Matt Walsh was attacking a predator, I seriously started to question whether or not it was the type of content that I wanted to align with or promote. I've done a couple videos where I promoted him, but I'm really glad he made this apology because it actually does mean a lot. It means that he's self-reflective and contemplative about not only his conduct but his channel and his viewers' perspective, and that means a lot. And there's not always a lot of creators that would do that. That would have that conscience about their content, so to speak, that, and really change their perspective. So I gotta say, hats off to the quartering, Jeremy from the quartering. But even bigger hats off because it took a lot more for him to endure the shit that the rest of the world has, tried to put him through that watched his channel. A true hats off. I don't have a hat. To and an applause. Actually, fuck it, you get a cheer for calling out the insanity that is Dylan Mulvaney. Thanks for your time, everyone. This has been Keenan from Keen Speaks, and I hope to speak with you again soon. Have a great day.